Cross-examination, Ram's reaction. As I stated earlier, I believe the terrorists and their captives walked through the front entrance and made their way to the lobby. The blood in the lobby suggests that a fight broke out. Perhaps the escapees sought to free themselves. Regardless of the reason, some sort of shot was fired in the struggle which hit Max Coladera. That resulted in his blood being spilled in the hallway. I know, right? See that? I'm such an idiot. I felt so stupid after that because, like, literally, it's literally right there. Was shot in the leg during the incident. Like, and he told me too, when we were talking to him, he literally told me as well. Just something I completely forgot. And yeah, so, like, what was it, like 20 fucking minutes? Assuming the oil spill was already present at the doorway, the footprints prove that only 2 people entered the... Oh, whoa, I hit it on auto. God damn it. No, back. Oil spill at the doorway. The footprints prove that only 2 people entered the lab room at that point. I believe those 2 people were John Flair and Sarah Fletcher. Hey, Zemsey. When Flair made it to the center of the room, he was held up by Fletcher, who had retrieved the revolver. She walked around him in such that her gun was pointed at the glass attached to the testing chamber. She pulled the trigger, killing him. He collapsed and Fletcher threw the gun aside. However, she felt regret over what she had done and sought a way to help him. As he was bleeding out, she pulled up a nearby stool to see if she could sit him upright. Her bloodied hand caused the stain on the seat. Eventually, she realized there was nothing she could do and walked out of the lab room. As she made her escape, she considered using a burner phone that was brought in by the terrorists to call for help, but decided against it. In the end, she left the building and turned herself into the police. A noble move, I might add. Okay, I have to find the inconsistency. Shit. That was a lot of information. This is going to be tough to unpack. So you're just going to disregard Sarah's statement about being held at gunpoint? They placed a bag over her head. We can't blindly trust information provided to us by the defendant. She might be lying to get a more favorable verdict. But earlier you said that your organization trusted her to carry out a mission. Why don't you believe her now? The situation has changed. After Fletcher made her escape from the Tactile Synthetics building, she did not attempt to contact us. My organization believes she can no longer be trusted with confidential information. Her personal interests must have overtaken her reasoning. Personal interests? She's just trying to survive a terrible situation. About the escape, something isn't sitting right with your story. Amelia is right. Something you said back there blindly contradicts a piece of evidence we've already discovered. It's like Ace Attorney. And hi, Cindy, how you doing? There's no way Sarah could have walked out of the lab the way that you described, and this evidence proves it. Actually, I think it's the oil spill. Yeah. But the oil spill had to have happened after, because it doesn't show any exiting footprints. It only shows entering. I think it's the oil spill, yeah. Yeah, 2 sets of oil heading into the lab, and there's only one way in or out. I'm gonna try it. I'm feeling. Hey, Inazuma. The oil spill mentioned by the witness does exist, and there are 2 sets of footprints pressed into it. However, none of the footprints in the oil spill were headed out of the room. Order. Witness, how can you explain this contradiction? Calm down. It's quite possible for Fletcher to have left the room without making a mark in the oil. I will expand on my statement for the court. Oh, my nemesis, Dempsey. You don't know Ace Attorney, seriously? What rock have you been living under? Eventually, she realized there was nothing she could do, and she jumped over the oil spill to leave the lab room. Is that satisfactory? I guess that's possible, but why would she want to avoid leaving a footprint on her way out? What purpose would it serve? I believe this is enough justification to proceed. Good. Mr. Cross-Examination, please continue your cross-examination. Hey, I thought we were past those sort of jokes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is reread everything. Okay, 0 to 3 hard drives containing classified government information, including nuclear launch codes. Cell phone. Burner phone found on the table in the lobby. No context or useful data could be extracted. Lobby bloodstain. Small bloodstain can be found next to a table in the lobby outside of the lab room. Large smear of blood on the floor outside of the lab room. Oil spill. The floor outside of the southern lab doorway is stained with oil. There are 2 sets of footprints heading into the room stamped in the oil. Revolver. Atlas LX2 revolver found in the lab room. Fired 2 shots. Fletcher's fingerprints were found on it. A bullet hole from Atlas LX2 revolver was lodged into the testing chamber glass on the side of the room. A button in the lab room activates a high-speed delivery system which transports a physical message from another room using compressed air. Victim photo. Photo of John Flair's body in the middle of the lab room taken shortly after it was discovered. There is blood on the seat, but it doesn't look like a handprint. It looks like he was sitting and then he fell forward. It would be my guess. Lab pool blood. Floor underneath Flair's body is stained with his blood and appears undisturbed. There is no blood anywhere else in the lab room. Lab stool. Small chair with wheels resting on a blood pool near Flair's body. There is also a blood stain on top of the seat. Yeah, so I think it's going to be about the blood pool. Okay, so lobby, fight broke out, regards reason, oil spill. Blood made to center of the room. Okay, she walked around. She walked around. Okay, I should think I have her. She felt recovered. She knows how to way to help him. Okay, so I gotta find out where to object. I think it's this phrase here. He was already sitting when he. And also, hold up a second. Would she? I can't remember. They just said she had blood in her hands, right? I'm gonna try to do trolling as well. Yeah, there's no trail through the bloodstain either. You mean this stool? Yes, that's the one. I'm glad you're catching on. Doesn't the bloodstain on the seat suggest that the victim was sitting on the stool? Perhaps, but it could also be explained through Fletcher's bloody hands. And were her hands covered in blood when the police found her? No, but she easily could have cleaned them. There's no getting through to him with this angle. I'll have to try something else. Ah! Tipped over the old oil spill to leave there. She considered using a burner phone that was brought in by the terrorists to call for help, but decided against it. But there's nothing on the phone. Okay, let's continue reading. Flair's autopsy, time of death between 5 and 5:25 on the 13th. John Flair died instantly from internal damage due to a gunshot. The bullet went clean through his chest, piercing his heart. This for Fletcher to eliminate John Flair found inside her holding cell. Lab work plans. Anderson files put in next to Jack Anderson. Flair McKenna, he's a victim with the K. Okay, so. God dang it. Let's read it. Let's go. I'm gonna get this. This and their captives walked through the front entrance and made their way to the lobby. I thought so. On the hallway. Oh wait, he died instantly. He didn't bleed out, he died instantly. Hold it right there, scum. I object to that premise. Name calling in my no, come on, in my family-friendly Minecraft server. That will not. No, wait, what? I heard this criminal thing, but the story does have some issues. I am! As he's bleeding. Come on! Yes, apparently so. God damn it. I feel like. I feel like there's no blood in it and appears undisturbed. It's undisturbed.
Objection.
Fuck yes. Okay, I got it. James Ram, your testimony has a serious problem. Really, no? Please share what you believe you discovered. You claim that Sarah pulled up a stool to help the victim sit upright, but I've been to the crime scene. I saw that the blood that had pooled underneath the victim was undisturbed, meaning nothing interfered with the stain while it was wet. If that's the case, there's no way that the stool could have been moved towards the victim's body. Huh. That was a good turnaround. How do they... It's just a thing they do. I'm proud of you, Cross. Seems as though you've come a long way. If the stool was not moved from its original position and blood was found on the seat, that must mean that the victim died near it before collapsing. It might even be accurate to say that the human flare was sitting on the seat as he was shot. Blood was only found in that part of the room, so it makes sense. By the way, mates, his body couldn't have been moved without causing some sort of blood stain, and we know the angle of the shot based on the bullet hole. This means whoever shot him was standing with their back to the desk in front of the lab room. It's still not enough to explain who actually committed the murder, though. Perhaps my source could shed some light on the details and lead us to a better answer.
Alt.
The court must not allow unqualified perspectives to waste our time. I believe we have reached the limit of our patience with this secret. It is time to ask an important question. Who exactly is this human source? John Darksoul. Very well. It is a staff member who was watching the front entrance of the building at the time the incident started. Her name is Ivy Field. John Truth. There you go. What? She was the source this whole time? Ivy Field? Again? Figures that this would happen. She really tends to pop up everywhere. Ivy in a field, yeah. I believe she's here in the courthouse today if you wish to question her directly. Is that what the prosecution wishes to do? Yes, Your Honor. We have heard enough from this human. Understood. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness immediately. Whatever happens now, I have a feeling it's going to be quite chaotic. I'm covered in shadows. You can't see me. The hairline's receding a tiny bit, but it's not like a crazy amount. I still have a good head of hair. It's just my 5 head bugs the crap out of me. For science. Miss Field. Hello, Double System. How you doing? You've been summoned to testify about what you witnessed during your time at the Tactile Synthetics Lab on March 13th. Are you prepared to tell us the truth of what happened that day? Not to worry. I've been on this stand before, Your Honor. I'm a pro at testifying now. We'll see about that. I'm ready to do whatever it takes to find the culprit for, well, you know. Testimony. Field and the Fiends. Ivy Field, it is our understanding that you were present at the entrance of the Tactile Synthetics building while the incident was underway. I am also excited for the upcoming game jam. I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. I mean, I don't feel so good today, but you know. Is this true? Yep, sure is. Why don't you tell us that you witnessed something important yesterday? You didn't ask. I didn't think I'd have to ask for something so clearly important. Okay. Then why have you not reported what you witnessed to the police? Huh? I thought I was talking to the police. That guy in the trench coat told me he worked with the government, so I explained everything I saw to him directly. Great, another reason not to trust the man. Did he twist my story while he was up here? What did he tell you? He seemed to claim that you saw John and Sarah enter the building and that you heard 2 gunshots. Oh, well, that part is true. So can you identify the people who kidnapped them too? I could try. Would that be helpful? It would. Please describe the individuals with as much detail as possible. Alright, so first up we have Sarah Fletcher. I recognize her from watching the trial that took place 2 days ago. Oh, right. That was when we discussed the murder of Jet Turner. Yeah, and I was on the stand too, remember? I was talking about my weather analysis, which was pretty exciting. After the trial was over, I headed back to work and volunteered to watch the front entrance with the police officer. But then he got a call and had to leave, so he let the watch up to me. Oh, jeez, not the yawns, no! So just you watching the entrance without any sort of security? Yep, that's right. It was a little scary. It actually is. It's a pretty decent game. Raw Productions is the dev. Remind me to scold Chief Batten when the day is done. I think he deserves it. But anyway, that's when Sarah Fletcher walked through the door. She had a bag over her head and was followed by 3 others. 3 others? One of them was holding her at gunpoint as they all walked in. It was a woman with a sort of wild look in her eyes. Eva Hunt, right? Some mysterious person, I wonder. Thank you, wonder who that was. I believe so. Then there was John Flair, who also had a bag over his head. I recognized his clothing from the trial earlier as well. I understood pretty quickly that something bad was happening. Finally, there was a tall man behind them with dark clothing. He was wearing a mask.
Wait!
What kind of mask? Are there any other details you can recall about this man? Sorry, no. He didn't speak and his face was covered by the mask. Can you at least tell us what kind of mask it was? It's like a ski mask that covered his whole head. It seemed to be created with some sort of thick fabric. So there is no way for you to identify this 4th human? I'm afraid not. I guess this is one thing science can't solve. That's yet to be determined. There might be some piece of evidence we can use to piece together who it was. Well, I did take a picture of the lobby with my phone, but I don't think it showed it. But I don't think it showed everyone who walked in that day. What? You have a photo of the incident while it was happening? Jesus. I'm trying not to yawn, I really am. Miss Beale, please share the picture with the court at once. Oh, I don't have it with me. I gave it to that guy in the trench coat. I will send someone to retrieve the evidence from RAMME. In the meantime, we should hear about what happened after the criminals arrived. Alright, I can do that. For science. I think this is a good time for a cross-examination, Your Honor. I'm inclined to agree. Witness, provide your testimony to the court to prepare for your statements to be scrutinized by the defense. Synthetic situation. As the 4 of them walked in around 4:45 p.m., I gasped. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Hunt told me to stay where I was and pointed a gun at me. I believe it was the revolver that you found in the lab room. I stayed put and the group made their way up the stairs and into the lobby area. My mind was racing for a long time, wondering what I should do. Finally, I looked back and saw movement upstairs. The mystery man and John Flair calmly entered the lab room. Was planning to survive. Well, if the sun explodes, I think we're close enough that we'll actually be caught in it, and there is no surviving. If the sun just goes out, it's going to be a slow, agonizing, chilling death, as basically the temperatures will drop to a point where we will all freeze solid in a matter of weeks anyway. So, I'm just gonna play games for as long as I can. Took action. I snuck up the stairs myself and took a picture of the lobby before they could notice me. I was like an action hero. Then I saw... Wear sunblock. Saw Fletcher and Hunt enter the lab room themselves. Fletcher still had a bag over her head. Since they were armed, I decided not to follow them, and instead ran out of the building to call for help. Right as I exited through one of the front doors, I heard a gunshot. I waited, and I heard another one. Sadly, I have no idea where the shots were fired, or who was shooting, but I did my part of recording what I could at the scene. But what about Max Coladeros being shot? She didn't even mention him. So you didn't see the actual moment that the victim died? No, I'm afraid not. This is quite the useful testimony, but is there any way we can verify that what you said is true? I can, Your Honor. Take a look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me... Apologies, I have failed my promise to the court. Unacceptable. I will now issue the defense a penalty. Wait, what? What? You can't do that! Watch me. Ha! What? What if I died? If I died right there, I would have been so mad. Oh, that was the smallest penalty I've ever seen. Didn't even register on the health bar? Okay, that's fine. I think I see a tiny pixel of difference. Hey, what is wrong with everyone? Can we get back on track? Right, please forgive my human error. Take a look at this picture that the prosecution has acquired from the human RAM. It shows the lobby of the Tactile Synthetics building with Fletcher and Hunt present. I believe this should solidify at least part of the witness's story. Yeah, that's it. That's the photo that I took. You should add that to the public record for science. Okay, so yeah, this is not adding up because the blood is on the floor, but before she heard the gunshot. Shia LaBeouf. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. I guess this does prove that Ivy was in the lobby in the midst of the incident, but something still isn't adding up about her testimony. I believe it's time to proceed with the examination. Have at it, Cross. I can use everything I've learned about the murder to piece together a more accurate series of events. I should go back through the evidence and find the truth. Okay, let's see here. More than walked over 4:45, but he died, well, I mean, within 15 minutes, that's fine. Okay, so let me see here. Or, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Was it entered into evidence? Okay. Looking here, but there's blood on the floor, and I feel like that's important because you didn't mention any of that. Calmly entered the lab room. I mean, something bad was going to happen, so I took action. Yeah. But you still had a bag over her head. Okay, also, the oil spill doesn't match up with that. So you saw two enter, then another two? That's, I feel like this is something.
Objection.
First try, let's go! So you believe that Sarah Fletcher and Eva Hunt, Eva Hunt entered the lab room, correct? You're gaming! Running for your life, this child. Actually, you know what? Who wants to listen to that? No, I'm not gonna do it. Right. And earlier, John Flair and the Mystery Man also went into that same room. I believe I see where you are going with this, Human Cross. Miss Field, how could all four members of this group have walked into the lab room if the oil spill only contains 2 sets of footprints? Civvy. Why are you saying no? You probably never even heard of it. You probably don't even know who the fuck Shia LaBeouf is. Order in the court. This is quite an oversight, witness. Either you're lying about who walked into the room, or you failed to explain the full state of the scene.
Objection.
Another possibility exists. Perhaps the oil was spilled after Flair entered, but before Fletcher walked in. If that's true, then how could she have missed the moment when the oil spilled? And how exactly did it happen in the first place? If she was able to see Flair and the unknown man enter from the front desk, then why couldn't she see the source of the oil spill? Wait, I can explain this. The answer is that I didn't actually see Fletcher and Hunt enter the lab room. I just assumed that they did based on what I heard. You've got to be kidding me. Ivy, what gives? I'm sorry, I just wanted to sound brave. In reality, Ava Hunt spotted me after I took the picture. She pointed a gun at me and told me to get lost, so I followed her directions. I ran outside of the building. I thought you said you were a pro at testifying. You should know better than to lie on the witness stand. That was crazy. God, rap. Shame. You didn't see the defendant enter the lab room, and her statement saying she was forced to enter is the only point of reference for that fact. All you've done in this courtroom is complicate the judicial process. I say we send this liar to jail. Please, there's no need for hostility. Witness, please calm down and tell us every detail you can remember when you were threatened by the terrorist. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. No hard feelings. I believe this is what you call the scientific process. Also, perjury. No, this is literally just lying. Nothing scientific about that. Thank you, Cross. Please cross-examine the witness's next statements to assure that she stays on track this time. Yes, Your Honor. Enlightened escape. I'm pretty sure I climbed the stairs near the entrance at around 5 p.m. What I saw matched what I expected to see after watching Flair and the masked man enter the lab room. I saw Fletcher acting as strong as she could under the circumstances, and Hunt pacing back and forth on edge. Right after I took my photo, Hunt turned to look at me. She pointed her gun at me and shouted. I forget what she said exactly, but it scared me. I sprinted down the stairs and ran out of the building as quickly as I could. Of course, the sweat particles, yeah. It's happening in Japanifornia. The mix of Japan and California, much like Ace Attorney's games, take place in Japanifornia. Because there are things that are decidedly Californian in that game, and also decidedly Japanese, so... Oh, my eyeballs hurt. No, it's a joke. It's based on a real case. Yes, a real case involving terrorists and AI drives and... Oh, okay, that's cool to know that, actually. TV law, yeah. When I got outside just a few minutes after 5 p.m., I turned the corner and paused for a moment. I heard a gunshot. Things had escalated, but with no way to contact the police, my only option was to run to the nearest patrol car I could find. Luckily, they were already informed of the situation by the time I found help and were sending officers to the scene. But it wasn't fast enough. I heard that when backup finally arrived at the Tactile Synthetics building, the criminals were already gone. If Fletcher was able to escape on her own after I left, I must have missed her. It's a big city and she must have walked in the opposite direction I did. That's what I was shouting, yeah. City. So you only heard one gunshot, not two? That's right. I'm sorry for deceiving you all earlier. If I had to guess, the second shot was fired after I'd already gotten some distance from the building. Or long before the incident started. But I don't think the evidence can back that up at this moment. Tell me, do you have any idea what Flair and the masked man wanted to enter the lab room ahead of Fletcher and Hunt? No, I can't think of any reason.
Alt.
Okay. Is it possible that there was something they needed from that room specifically? You mean the Anderson files? That's a good idea. Jeez, my voice got. But that's not where we keep them. If I had to guess, they would have kept them in the file storage area. Come to think of it, after I heard there was some sort of commotion the same day that the murder happened. That makes sense, but then why even make a detour to the lab room in the first place? Because of the pneumatic delivery system! Files, papers. Button in the lab room activates a high-speed delivery system which transports a physical message from another room using compressed air. Boom, baby! Now I just gotta figure out where to say that. I suppose there's not much we can glean from Ms. Field about the intent of the terrorists, but her testimony is still valuable. The defense may continue with their cross-examination. Getting close to the truth. We have to make sure that every detail is correct, no matter how small it may seem. I won't allow false information to get out of hand and hinder our progress towards clearing Sarah's name. Okay, I could do this. I could totally do this. What is... find the truth. I'm trying to recall more details about what happened. I'm pretty sure I climbed the stairs near the entrance of... Oh. I think...
Reminder. Also, do you have Chibi Cross scenes left?
Apparently I do! And thank you so much for those bits. Your Honor, I'd like to present Exhibit B. Please bring your attention to this picture. As you can see from this image, the defendant has been talking to me after trying to save the game. This means they have clearly lost all reason because no one in their right mind would talk to Chibi Cross of their own accord. Unless... Do you actually try to say because you want to talk to me? Yes! I never considered that possibility. That's so nice of you. I'm sorry for all the commotion, Your Honor. Call off the trial. Let's just forget all of that. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Chibi Cross is in your debt. From now on, I won't make any snarky comments about your saving habits. I promise you will be rewarded for your efforts. I've come to appreciate your determination and wit. My homeboy. Never stop doing what you do best. Save on, Queen! Oh, Chibi Cross, you're the best. Okay, pretty sure I climbed the stairs to the entrance around 5 p.m. But I saw a match what I expected to see after watching Flair and the Masked Man enter the room. It's after 5. I turned the corner, paused for a moment. I heard a gunshot. So between 5 and 5:25, so that makes sense. Gosh, we're in the patrol car. Criminal's already gone. Shit. So that didn't. Wait, she doesn't have a gun here. She doesn't have a gun! It doesn't look like Hunt noticed you. What gave it away? She simply turned around, Cross. It's not that hard to comprehend. Well, when she puts it like that, I guess it is simple. I should try something else. Okay, so heard a gunshot. The developer say you can say you can save scum. Okay, you don't think I'm gonna get it, do you? I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this first try. I'm gonna prove you all wrong. You have no faith in me. No hubris. It's the blood. Why is there blood? We spent after seeing Flair and the Masked Man enter the lab room. Huh. feel like... it has to do with him. Cell phone burned on the table for the lobby. No contacts. Small blood stain can be found next to a table in the lobby outside of the lab room. Hallway pool of blood. Oil spill. Revolver. I was almost there. I was close. She pointed this gun at you? Oh, yeah, I think so. And you're sure she didn't fire it? Yep, pretty sure. So Eva Hunt wielded the same weapon that was supposedly used to kill the victim. It's an interesting point, but I don't think it'll help me here. The fingerprints cross! Different part of her testament. Bitch! Wait. No, she would have seen it. Yeah, we just know that Fletcher did. But she doesn't have gloves on, which is what was throwing me off. Did you look at the picture? There are no gloves on her hands. And they're acting as if the only fingerprints... I mean, they could have just been left out, but yeah, okay. So I'm thinking, okay. The angle of this picture is also another interesting thing. Because I'm trying to remember the layout of the room. So if this is the picture she took... So she must have been... There were stairs on either... No, there was only stairs in the middle. Yeah, so she was just in the middle. No? Was she? I think I'm focusing on the wrong detail. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm dumb. Okay, so... This is straight up the middle. I think I'm focusing on the wrong... I feel like it's this gunshot. Like the autopsy between 5 and 5:25. Doesn't say when he got shot, but just he was shot. They entered at 4:45, and a little after 5, she heard the first gunshot. Now we know that Max got shot before. I mean, we think. Yeah, but I don't want to use the hint. So I didn't concentrate at the time I found help. And then she's not tied up or anything in this, is she? No, she's just standing hands at her sides. What was the blood about, though? That's what I'm... Acting as strong as she could under the circumstance, Hunt pacing back and forth on edge. Right after my photo, Hunt turned to look at me. She pointed her gun at me and shouted. Forget exactly what she said exactly, but it scared me. I sprinted down the stairs and ran out of the building as quickly as I could. Got outside a few minutes after 5. I turned the corner and paused for a moment. I heard a gunshot. Maybe I do need a hint. You know what? Now she claims that she didn't witness Sarah and Yvonne enter the library, but she fled the building after getting scared. Despite this testimony being closer to reality, I still can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. I should look through the evidence and find out what it is. What's the... Use a hint charge. You have 3 remaining. You know what? I haven't done it for the entire series. This one's... Like, the ones... See, this is the ones that really throw me off, where I think I have something. It's like, oh, nope, not good enough. Fucking hate that. I'm using 1 hint. Fuck it. She had no way to call the police after she fled the Tactile Synthetics building. Is that really true? Oh, that's a minor point compared to the rest of her story. I'm sure that I collected a piece of it. But she left it there. She didn't have a way to call them. But... that doesn't make any sense. She left it there. It was left there. And it's a burner phone. That doesn't make any sense. No way to contact the police. My only option was run to the... I don't. So that doesn't make any sense. There was no way she could have called anybody. It's just a burner phone. I'm even more confused by that hint than I was before the hint. She had no way to call the police after she fled Tactile Synthetics building. Is that really true? Yes, because the phone was left there. I feel so stupid. I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you so fucking much right now. I hate you so much right now. I fucking hate you. I hate you so goddamn much. It was right there the whole time. Ivy, I thought you had learned your lesson just now, but it seems like there's still something wrong with your testimony. What? What do you mean? I mean, that you of all people should have remembered how you were able to take that photo in the first place. Yeah, her digital camera. You claim to have taken it with your phone.
Emotional, damn it!
That's true, you had every opportunity to use that same phone to call the police. I do like the fact that it just took the one sentence from Matt. It's not that phone. Consider what evidence you got recently, and it was the phone picture. The picture taken from her fucking phone. Yeah. Using her phone. God. I really need to read. You know, I don't feel well. That's my excuse right now. That's true, yet every opportunity to use that same phone to call the police. How did you... Answer me, Ivy. Why didn't you call for backup the moment you exited the building? I just... Reading is tough. I really do, so bad. It appears you have learned nothing since you first took the stand 3 days ago. I'm afraid that I must hold you in contempt of court, which is a serious offense. Well, considering all the perjury that happens here, it's only serious sometimes, I guess. Speak now or forever be shamed for your lies. Wait, please, just hear me out. I didn't mean to mislead the court, I swear. That would go against my scientific principles. And yet, You can see the the sweat drips from a distance. Where were these principles during your first testimony? It really just slipped my mind that I dropped my phone during my attempt to flee from the building. It was a hectic situation. I was panicking like a coward. I didn't have my phone on me when I made it outside. But it's really just a minor detail, and it means nothing to the case. It doesn't change anything about what I witnessed with Hunt and Fletcher.
Objection.
Actually, this changes something very important about your story, Ivy. Earlier, you told us that you handed the photo you took of the lobby to Ram after being questioned by him. But how is that possible if you had dropped your phone at the scene of the crime? Oh, right. I guess I didn't explain that part. Later, when the police arrived to do an initial sweep of the lobby, I joined them and was approached by Ram. As the police officer started to look around for traces of the culprit, I noticed that my phone was still in the lobby, but moved from where I dropped it. I guess Ava Hunt retrieved it and left it there. So as my conversation with Ram moved on to what I witnessed, he asked if he could see the photo. He picked up the cell phone, sent the image file to himself, and then placed it back where it was so it could be counted as evidence. You bastard. Does that explain the situation more clearly? No, it doesn't. Hold on. Though this new information seems inconsequential, it could have huge implications for our understanding of this crime. Ivyfield, I believe your recent statements reveal something important about this piece of evidence. The fucking phone! This phone! No context or useful data could be extracted. It's a burner phone. It's not her phone! Matt. The music's still going. Judge isn't giving me a demerit. During my investigation of the lobby, I encountered what appears to be a burner phone brought in by the terrorists on the day of the incident. But after hearing your last statement, I'm starting to believe that it could actually be the same phone that you dropped on the 13th. So tell me, is this your phone? Oh, yeah. That's the cell phone I had with me when I took the picture. Ram took the picture out of her and then wiped her phone. Judge start breakdancing in the next game.
Objection.
That is impossible. An analysis of the phone that was found in the lobby shows that there was no recoverable data to be found on the device. If that is true, then how was it possible for the human Ram to have retrieved an image file from it? Exactly. Now you're starting to see the bigger picture, Ajax. When Ivy returned to the crime scene after the incident was over, she was able to show Ram the phone and allow him to retrieve the photo. The fact that we have the photo with us means he was able to accomplish his task. But if our investigation yesterday showed that the phone had no data, it only stands to reason that all of the data stored on the device was wiped sometime after Ram retrieved the photo. With that in mind, the better question to ask would be, when exactly was the data deleted? And how did it happen when the police had already taken control of the crime scene? You can't mean that the evidence was tampered with. Exactly that, Your Honor. Before we get ahead of ourselves, I must ask, did the human Ram wipe your phone while he had it in his possession? No, definitely not. I was watching his every move. He placed down my phone and walked away after the picture was sent. I figured that the police would take good care of it, but I guess now I'll have to recreate my contacts list. Darn. Well, I'm bobbing like the people in the stands. Data tragedy aside, I think this opens up a dangerous new question. Who could have accessed the crime scene and manipulated the cell phone? Indeed. We must be careful discussing the subject so as not to reduce the public's faith in our justice system. I recommend that we keep it in mind, but continue building our understanding of the murder itself for now. This must be what Ajax was talking about yesterday. At a time like this, the people in power would prefer to keep it a tight lid on failures like this. Absolutely despicable. What is this going to mean for our case, Conrad? It means we shouldn't trust information blindly from now on. Oh, fucking great. I'm boned. What about the evidence we've already collected? Do you think it could have been tampered with as well? It's hard to say, but we should be extra careful about what we take as fact. Making discoveries could get a lot more difficult. You're screwed. If the court will allow the prosecution to proceed, I believe our next course of action is to determine the order and source of the gunshots. seeing as the victim was killed by a bullet. Determining who fired the gun and when should be our highest priority. To that end, I have requested a transcript of the human field's testimony to be added to the court record. Ivy's testimony. Okay, let's take a look see here. I should also take a note of the new information we learned about Ivy's phone. Cell phone evidence updated. Ivy Field's phone, which was retrieved by Ava Hunt and placed on a table in the lobby. The data was wiped after the incident. Ivy Field was present at the Tactile Synthetics building entrance during the incident. More info inside. At 4:45 p.m., Ivy Field witnessed Ava Hunt, Sarah Fletcher, John Flair, and a tall man who can't be identified enter the building. They walked up to the lobby together. After some time, Flair and the mystery man entered the lab room. Ivy snapped a picture of the lobby, but was caught by Hunt and had to flee the building. Then shortly after 5 p.m., she heard a gunshot from inside. Okay. Based on the information provided by the defense, we know that Max Coladera was hit by one of the gunshots. I believe we should call him to the stand and ask him directly what he witnessed during the incident. That sounds reasonable to me. Bailiff, bring in the witness immediately. Okay. We'll take a short 5-minute recess while Max Coladera is prepared for testimony. Court is now briefly adjourned. Good lord. Who knew I'd have to read so much? In a video game! No, he was just shot. He was shot in the leg. They made a miraculous recovery. Like, you know, it's dead in this game. John Flair's dead. Until he comes running into court. Surprise! Despite knowing the difficulties that lie ahead, I feel more ready than ever to tackle whatever comes next. I know in my heart that if we keep pushing, no matter how long it takes, that we will reach a critical point. That will set Sarah free. Shut up, City. I hate you. It's just a question of what it will take to get there.